So finished our final day. We traveled tonight. Any questions on the game?
You talk about there's a way to win every game. With these guys, where do you start on importance of this matchup in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go into that and cover the way to win ever. Meaning, it's a fair question, but look, obviously when you look at the strengths of this team, they've been successful. John, I said at the start of the week, these guys, they do a great job of running the football. Their explosive plays, their red zone offense, all those numbers are at or near the top. Defensively, they're very, very physical. The thing you notice on tape is they're really good tacklers, and they've always been real good in the kicking game. The focus for us is on the details of our game plan and going in and playing one of our tougher opponents. Probably, like I said, probably the toughest opponent for us to date.
Sean, there were some questions, obviously, after Justin Simmons was released. But how overall do you feel good about Brandon fulfilling the role both on the field and off the field and leadership?
Yeah, we're doing well there. We're doing well. Communication's been good. Leadership, all of that stuff's gone well.
There's maybe a perception that a lot of the AFC North is one of those physical, tough divisions. How much do you have to embrace that when you're playing a team?
Yeah, I think, look, in each division's a little different, and certainly when you talk about Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and we haven't gotten to Cleveland or Cincinnati yet, but there's definitely a personality to what they want to do and how they want to play, and we want to have that kind of personality as well. I think it's important in today's NFL.
Joe, we saw you from your very first OTAs drilling down, Hail Mary defense kind of early in that thing. But when there's something big that happens in the league, does it?
So we show. I'm not going to use the term, but there was 3 or 4. So in the morning, the meeting starts with what are they thinking? And there were a few of those. What are they thinking plays this week? Now, I wasn't watching the game last night, the Jets had a good win, and you got a rookie. So we show all those plays, the Hail Mary, all of it, because, look, we could find ourselves in those situations, and there's a responsibility to everyone, the team, and so, but we cover that usually Friday morning. So that's usually the past weekends. There might be some, other things on there that are more technical that aren't as egregious maybe as what we saw this past weekend.
Midway through the season right now, what personality do you think your team has?
Well, I think, listen, we've been playing good defense. We try to establish the run. I think we've seen, obviously, with a young quarterback, his improvement. But we talked at the start of the year the significance of us being able to stop the run, be able to run the ball, and then I think the key thing as we hit this stretch is that turnover margin. Your margin for error changes when you play a better team, and so I think that's it. It's kind of work in progress.
It was a tough injury for Delaren at the end of last year. How good has it been to just see him sort of go through the rehab?
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. He's well respected, and a guy that's I'd say well thought of in the locker room and on the field. So it's good to have him getting closer.
You and John Harbaugh have been coaches for some amount of time, but mostly in opposite conferences. What's been your relationship with him?
Well, we worked together for a year in Philadelphia. My second year in the league, I think, was his first year. So my first year was 97, and then I think John was hired in 98. We were together under Ray Rhodes in 1998. I ended up at the Giants. John obviously was with Philly for quite a while and then became a head coach. So I got to know he and his family well, and I would consider him a good coaching friend.
Sean, Kyle Hamilton gets plenty of acclaim, but Marcus Williams is a guy that you wrapped to know really well.
Two different players. Marcus we know well. He's truly going to be at a safety position. And this Hamilton now, he shows up in the big nickel. He shows up in the dime. He's one of those guys who's a tremendous pressure player. So when he's in nickel, he's a threat. If he's playing dime, he's a threat. If they're in a conventional nickel and 44 comes in over the slot, and he's a threat as a weak. And so where he's at, his film has been unbelievable watching him. He's 6'4", he's got long arms, he's a tremendous tackler, good football IQ. By the week's end, you really notice his skill set, and you really notice it the closer to the ball, and so they do a great job of putting him in positions where he's closer to the ball.
Do you ever have to sort of talk about the frustration factor with a guy like Lamar? He might do everything right, but he might still do something rare.
I mean, look, we see all the film, the explosives, and so yeah, it's like the challenge this week with this player, and then, well, a week from now it'll be a different challenge, and so you just try to highlight, hey, these are rare things that we've got to be able to. If the play gets extended, the coverage has got to get extended. We have to know how to rush him. We have to. There's a number of things, and so you come up with a plan as best you can relative to those skill sets of the opponent you're playing, and obviously he's unique and has played fantastic.
Back to the Hamilton, he had a sack against the Browns when he comes from the blind side. As a play caller, do you see more guys coming from off the ball now
Well,
than used to be?
I think, and I saw the sack. I think, look, let's just start with we have to know where he's at, and then let's not ever have a protection where he's free. Now, sometimes that's easier said than done, but let's just not let that happen. But man, he's got good IQ. He can give you the illusion he's playing, and then time it up. Especially at home. With your heel and all that. So we just have to have great awareness as to where he's at on each play. He's one of the better safeties I've seen in a while, and then when you factor in the height, the arm length, he's a tremendous tackler, and so that shows up right away on film.
Do you see more off-ball pressure now than maybe 10 years ago?
We see it all. It's funny because, like, we do third down, and look, there'll be a pressure that we'll get this week on third down that we probably haven't covered, and so third down becomes game specific. Who's the back? Is it 3-by-1? Is it 2-by-2? And can we solve those problems? Is it, and then adjust accordingly. But they do a great job with, mugging up in, bailing out, bringing, so week to week you see a flavor defensively, and they're not afraid to play cover zero. The last touchdown that Jameis throws was a zero pressure, and Cleveland blocked it up and hit a big play. So, They do, obviously they do a lot, and they do it well.